Hey everyone, it's Laura Stevenson. So today I wanted to go through a question that I was asked by someone recently about that said, why do I want to rip out my hair by the end of the day or the week? I don't understand why I just can't keep it together. What is wrong with me? Okay. And maybe you have the same question too. So let's go through some of the things that you might be saying to yourself, or that maybe you think is the reason why by the end of the week you absolutely just want to yell at everybody. So some of those reasons could be you feel as though you're not as good as everyone else. Perhaps you feel like you've got no patience, or that you're broken. That little glass of wine that each night that you have is your savior. Maybe you think it's because you're a bad parent, or is everybody yelling at their kids? I don't know. You can't tolerate idiots. I mean, it happens to the best of us. You're tired. Well, actually, if you're really honest, you're shattered. You have a short fuse. Maybe you think you're slower than others, or that you're just an ag, an ogre, a monster, somebody that just yells all the time. Maybe you think your boss is picking on you and that's putting more stress on you, and it's just very, very stressful. Maybe there's just not enough time in the day. I hear this all the time. I just don't have time, Laura. I just don't have time, Laura. Oh, I can't do that, Laura, because I just don't have time. I hear it a lot. Perhaps everything feels just that little bit too much. Maybe you've just got a lot going on and it's just too much for you. Or maybe you're just thinking, oh, must be just COVID. Must be because of COVID, because I never used to be like this. And well, yeah, here we are now. So what's actually going on? Because to be honest, it's not really any one of these things as such. And maybe some of them are true and maybe they're not. Okay. But the good news is you just may have a stress tolerance window that's lower than others. And there's a few reasons for that. And we're going to go into what those reasons would be. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It just is. Okay. And so we're looking at the concept of the stress bucket that was developed in 2002 by Professors Brabin and Turkington. Okay. Now, everybody has a bucket, and the size of your bucket depends on your genetic material, your personality, and the experiences that you go through in your life. So every single person is different. Just as though your personality is unique, the size of your stress bucket is unique. Okay. Now, in this bucket, we've got 4 different levels. We've got relaxed, okay, where we've got not a lot of stress. We've got neutral, where you're just like, yeah, I'm just getting through the day and this is my normal operational level. Okay. Then you get frustrated, and then you get to breaking point. And when you get over breaking point and you start, everything just becomes way too much and you just can't cope, that is when mental health problems come to light or set in. Okay. So let's say, for example, you're somebody who had early life trauma. Okay. Or maybe you had some early adulthood trauma. Now, what's happened for you is that your nervous system and your stress bucket has all of the sludge at the bottom. Now, through your life, you will have created some coping strategies, okay, to keep these feelings at bay. So this is now your new normal, okay? And you might never really hit relaxed, but this is your new neutral, okay? So you've got this underlying tension all of the time. But perhaps you've got things like addiction, so gambling addiction, or sex addiction, alcohol, drugs, your phone, social media, Netflix, over exercising, so many different things that you are obsessively addicted to. You can't live your life, you can't go about without thinking about it, okay? That is keeping you from thinking about your early childhood stuff, okay? or your early adulthood stuff. Now, these traumas don't have to be huge. They could have been that you felt abandoned by your parents, that you felt that they didn't understand you, that they compared you to your siblings or to your friends or to their friends' children. Or it could be major things like abuse, abandonment, neglect, bullying. Somebody broke your heart and shattered it into pieces, or one of your parents died in early life. So there's a number of things that could be sitting here that you are so tough to deal with. Emotions such as shame, of guilt, of abandonment, of not feeling good enough, of feeling different to everybody else. All of those really tough feelings that we feel about ourselves that our brain just wants to keep us safe from. Okay, so we create these coping strategies. So you've got addiction as one, eating disorders, so either eating too much, so binge eating, or eating too little, so anorexia, so it's controlling what you put in your mouth. Depression, so you want to numb out, you don't want to fight or run, you just want to just shut down and just get through life. People pleasing, you want to avoid conflict at all costs, so you'll do what it takes to be liked, for people to keep you in their life, for you never to feel abandoned or neglected again. The need to be in charge. You can never let anybody see your vulnerabilities or the fact that you're not good enough. So maybe you have to have the leadership role, or maybe you're a micromanager, because nobody will ever uncover the truth that you believe about you. Controlling behavior, so micromanagement, things like that. Controlling behavior for others, controlling behavior over yourself. Sabotage or self-sabotage. Many people say, oh, why do I get to a point where I want to get to and then I go backwards 2 steps? And maybe because you have an upper limit problem of where you get to, okay? And so your brain says, that's not you, we need to move back. Okay, so you get sabotage. Maybe you do anger. Maybe you're generally always just angry, and that's how you cope. You're just frustrated. You've got this passive aggression going on. In fact, there was a guy in the shop yesterday, and he was like muttering, "Oh, how am I supposed to get to the stuff?" Where he could have just said, "Excuse me," but he didn't. He decided to frustrate himself and mutter under his breath. Okay. Self-harm, so cutting or pinching or harming yourself in order to relieve the tension and the stress that you feel. Okay, so these are all coping strategies that will keep you at neutral, but they keep recycling, okay, and they keep adding to the stress. Now, so you're neutral and maybe now lower or higher than somebody who didn't have any early childhood traumas, or maybe they were smaller, so they've got more space and they can hit relaxed more. Okay, so you see that everybody will be different, and that's where experience comes from. Now, and then anxiety. So so then what happens is you've got daily life. Okay, so in daily life, you've got positive stress and you've got negative stress. So example of positive stress could be going for a job interview. So it's short term, but it could turn out really well. Or having a conversation where you're asking for a raise, or doing a presentation, or somebody's getting married. So really, it's still stressful, but it's happy stress. Okay, so it's going to lead to a positive outcome. The other one is negative stress, and negative stress is environmental. So people around you making you stressed out. So not putting toys away, or not doing their homework, or doing the dishes, or emptying the dishwasher. Little everyday little things that happen. Okay, and they don't even have to be big before you explode. Okay, and you can see that as you go through all of the stress, whether it's positive or negative, is filling your bucket, and you get to frustrated and you get to breaking point. Now that changes every single day. So it could be that's why at the end of every day you want to blow up, or you take until the end of the week, depending on how the week goes, because our buckets are always changing, and that they change depending on how many taps we have to release. So good coping strategies, not the coping strategies that we just spoke about, but good coping strategies. So what are those, and what could they look like? Okay. Now, the more that it's mostly quality over quantity. Okay. So you want to make sure that the activities that you choose are good stress relieving activities for you specifically. What may work for one person may not work for another. And if your nervous system is already on a high alert as a breaking point, going to do heavy cardio is not the right strategy for you, okay? Because it creates more natural stress on the body. So, okay, great. Let's just get rid of this guy. Right, so what are good release activities? Things like breath work, going on holiday, whether that's just away for the weekend, out of your normal environment and into nature, or it's going away on a longer holiday. Now, with COVID, that has been more difficult, and that's probably why people are feeling a little bit more frustrated, because they're used to getting away. Okay. And in normal times, when you are able to get away, getting away every quarter is ideal for most people, particularly if you have a very stressful life. Yoga and Pilates, very good to calm down the nervous system, especially if you're doing tranquil versions of these two activities. Nature, the benefits of nature have been proven, whether it's the sea, which has the expansiveness for your mind and the minerals for the rest of your body and the fresh air, or the trees that's got all of the benefits from increased oxygenation, the beautiful colors, also expanding your mind, seeing how everything interrelates. Nature is incredible for our mental health and for stress relief. Going for a facial, playing a sport that you love, going to play golf or going to play cricket or bowling or whatever that sport is that you love, carving out the time for that. Mindfulness activities that you can do every day, so journaling or other different types of meditation or breath work. Hair and nails, getting those done if those really give you the space for yourself. Meditation, all different types of meditation. My favorite type of meditation is transcendental meditation, because I find that it's easier because you're focused on the mantra that you're given, and so it helps to just bring your mind back and to stop it wandering off. Hypnosis, so relaxation audios, relaxation hypnosis, going into that state of trance is incredibly relaxing. And in fact, that state of trance has been noted that 1 hour is equivalent to 8 hours of rest. So going into hypnosis is a wonderful way to release stress. Going to the gym or doing weights. Visualization exercises, so visualizing yourself in a different way or how you want to be or what you want your life to be like, can help raise positive feelings within your body. Swimming's another great one, and it's less stress on your body. Going for a massage is incredible for stress relief because you've got the cardiovascular benefits as well as the lymphatic benefits that both clear out and get all of that stress that sits in your body out, and creates movement in space. Walking, running, cycling, again, as I said before, if you're already at a high level of stress, these aren't great activities for you because they'll put your body under more stress. Oh, okay. Building Lego, either by yourself or with your kids, whatever that is. It's just got to be an immersive activity in order to get you out of your head and into something creative. Eating well is very good for your body. in that it helps to keep your blood sugar levels normal, as well as your hormones. So you don't spike that creates a physical stress reaction, okay? Same as sleep, getting enough sleep is really important. Lack of sleep can just increase your stress bucket for that day. And you'll find that your eating will slip, or your patience will be much, much lower. Playing an instrument, so something that brings you joy. Music is a wonderful way to A, create trance, and B, to be super immersive that it can take you anywhere. It's such a beautiful way to relieve stress. So music. Dancing, exactly the same. You can go into a trance as you dance, and you can create flow and movement within your body that will help to move any stress out. Doing a crossword, again, it's immersive. Spending time alone. So having time to yourself where you can just do any one of these activities, where you can just read. I mean, there's loads that I haven't put on here. Read, or you could go walking, or you could just sit and stare into space, count the clouds, whatever that is, just that alone time. And then connection with others is vital. We are social creatures. And so connecting either with a partner or your best friend or your pet will help with stress relief. Okay. So that ability to not necessarily unburden yourself by telling somebody else, but it's the joy of being heard and the joy of being understood. That connection with others can help that stress release. And sometimes it's just being held or listened to, okay, that will be good for our stress levels. So this is just a few examples. And you can see that it would be easier for the tap to be steady rather than it being, oh, I do that once a month, or I do that. So the steadier the flow of the out, the easier it is to maintain that space in your stress bucket. Okay, so the easier it is to maintain this stress. Now, if you are doing all of those things and you still feel as though you've got this underlying tension, this anxiety, this depression, addiction, all of this stuff, all of these maladaptive coping strategies, things that make that stress, so they help for a minute and then they turn on that critical inner voice, or they turn on that shame button that says, oh, I'm so awful, I can't believe I just binge ate a whole tub of ice cream. Oh my God, I'm so terrible, I can't believe that I let that person walk all over me. And so what happens is that momentary gain becomes a momentary stress relief gets recycled and goes back into your stress bucket. Now, the best way to deal with these is through professional support. These activities are not conscious. So I know that in the UK specifically, that the recommended therapy is CBT, but these are not conscious behaviors. You are trying to numb out or control what you don't want people to know about you. Okay, and that comes from a pattern in the brain that you have learned over years and years and years. So you might consciously say, okay, well, I have an addiction because I grew up in an alcoholic family and I was neglected and I had to look after my own. That is conscious, but it doesn't give the logic as to why you would develop addiction. Okay, and there is no logic. It's just the way your brain has kept you safe. So those particular things it's best to seek professional support with. Okay, so I hope you found this helpful and that you now understand why you may fly off the handle a little bit more than everybody else, or so it would seem, and it's because we're all so different. Now, if you found it useful, why don't you share this video with your friends, or like or subscribe to the channel, and or you can feel free to reach out and ask me any questions. It's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have the most wonderful rest of your day. Take care.